necessity. And that public necessity is that we are required to submit to the Secretary of State by 5 o'clock these results of the canvass. And so that's the only thing we will be discussing today. You have before you absentee, then the general election numbers, early voting, and then the actual day general election. Okay, and then we have a recap then.
And we had all got 49 votes prepared.
There's 2 votes off, is that the?
Yes, sir, no, that was 2 fleas. 2 fleas we had, they had the thermals, they checked in, they went over to the express vote, they voted, but then they left with their vote in their hand,
Okay.
so.
What do you call
Flee,
it? A flea.
they flee, they
Alright.
fled with their vote.
They fled in a hurry.
And also, I was gonna let you know that we did have a site support that night from ES&S, which is the systems that we bought stuff, but she was no help at all, and I have taken care of that, so we are not gonna be responsible for paying for that site support. She just didn't, I knew much more than she did, but she just didn't help us at all, and so I have been working on this since Wednesday after the election. I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and finally I was able to get a hold of Danda Parker, our actual site lady for ES&S. She has been in and out of surgery, 3 of them, 3 different kinds of surgeries for a gallstone or kidney stone or something. Anyway, she was able to come down last week and said I had done everything correctly. It was just I had worked on it so long and so many hours, I got discombobulated up into my head because I was about to rip it all apart and go away. And on the one with the election day provisionals, the absentee and the early voting provisionals, that our early voting ballot board, they do that in-house. We had, it shows that we had 220 actually on our counts, but one of the ballots had misfed inside there, but we cannot get into it to get it out and redo it, so, yeah, just to let y'all know that.
On the absentees, we have a sheet. Sir?
Well, I did,
Oh, okay.
contact with them. You want to do that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You want to go through and check them like?
Yeah, I'm trying to read, see what this means. Number of blank ballots, 5.
Provision.
Provisionals, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
We gave them the extras just in case, because sometimes the machine won't read what they've gotten, so they'll have to recreate and redo it,
Do
so
you
that's.
have a separate one that we're gonna sign or something?
Well,
Just that.
That,
Okay.
that's all I need.
So, this one is what we're saying is blank. Public count of voting ballots from ballot scanner results tape.
And those, we don't check in on our poll book, that's from our poll book, so these are just our absentees that come in by mail.
Absentees. Number of voted provisional ballots, 179. Number of spoiled ballots, 5. is that his provision?
That's just over in the
Oh,
right.
spoil, there it is.
Mhm.
Number unused.
Which we don't give them unused over there, so we had 184 that, were sent over.
So that's the 184.
That's the 179 and 5 added.
Mhm. And then,
Blank and 5.
and then this is what was actually put through our DS 200, and I did it precinct by precinct behind each of these papers. Here, if you wanted to look behind there and see the precinct by precinct is also added with each of those numbers on there. I just didn't want to print 5 different times precinct, 15 precincts on there. That should be right. We should get it right here. So that's that, but each, behind each of these, if y'all look behind
This
those,
is absentee, number blank, absentee, election day. These came in on election day.
yes ma'am.
Okay.
On our US rep, which in the northern part of the county is
Ellesley.
21 in it.
does he show up on here?
Yes, Jake Ellesley,
Well,
he's
here's Pete, here's Pete right there.
yes, Ellesley, right there, the very first one.
What?
I'm trying to type
That's what I'm
it here.
trying to find.
Well, how do we type this 21?
Is that Jambalaya?
You're being ugly.
This 21.
Write that down.
Yes, and that's the one that was rejected, it
I
already
see.
got the 20.
But you have 19 over here.
Yes, and the 19 was the one that was misfed into there. We had 21 total, one was rejected, which brought it to 20.
Okay,
And then we fed it in, and that one was not counted because it misfed
okay.
into the machine and it crumbled up. And it went ahead and took it, but,
Okay, so
We
you
can't
actually,
use
you had
the
2 there that messed up.
yes, yes,
So I was
yes.
trying to figure out what the two,
Yes.
okay, so there's
See,
2.
one misfed.
One misfed,
Yeah,
209.
one was rejected.
2, so that makes you 21,
Mhm,
gotcha.
mhm.
I was just trying to figure it out.
Me too.
Ty, how many votes you get? Oh,
Just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I have had so many people that complain about the way that was listed for people that did not have,
Didn't run,
didn't have an opponent.
I know. I don't know why they made us do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, well, and that's what I told them.
We just
They required it,
Yeah, they
but
required us to do
anyway.
that. I didn't like it either because it made no sense.
no.
And it was almost a half page.
Yeah, it was.
You know, there are some of y'all that I wouldn't want to vote for.
that's some of them. That's some of y'all.
There might be some of y'all I wouldn't want to vote
Yeah,
for.
yeah, I mean, we had a lot of.
You know, she
people
looked down this way, Will.
Yeah.
You know, she looked down there.
I think she was looking, she was pushing it back this
She
way,
said,
but she
"Y'all-"
wasn't gonna look at me and
I
just.
was in several
she said,
of the
"Y'all-"
precincts that day, and I had a lot of the judges
Yeah.
ask, they're asking why they're on there, and I said, I had to have them on there for SOS.
That's what
I
I
got another question, how come
Secretary of
Preston
State.
didn't give them one machine?
Because we only have 19 machines,
Okay.
and I had to have one for provisionals and absentees.
They
That's
just
all
have
we
always
had.
had 2, and they
Yes.
didn't know what was going
And
on.
I did end up bringing them another express vote later that day.
Oh, okay, I
I
was there
drove
early.
all over county that day.
I just,
We had
they
a lot
was,
of
when I
trouble.
was in there, they was They was just wondering.
Yeah,
how they-
I did take them
In
to,
case
later
something
today.
happened, it might be
Yeah,
nice to come
yeah.
back. and-
Yeah, I took them another express vote that day and some extra ballots and stuff. But I ended up, we had a lot of trouble with, a lot of our judges not being able to get on our poll books that day, starting at 5:30 that morning.
Yeah,
So by 6 o'clock, I was on the road, and I didn't get through until 3:30 that afternoon. I drove a whole tank of gas out of my truck, going to all the poll places.
They unlock a lot.
And, just to unlock a door, they would panic and say, we can't do it, we can't do it, we can't do it. And I'd go, okay, look, you just stop things. And they'd go, oh, okay.
They had trouble with the machines and working, because I had
That's
several
what,
problems.
yes, they did, they couldn't get on the poll books. I don't know why. I walked in there, I sat down, I did the code, I did the password, I did the username, and it came right on up.
well, I figured out after the fact, I wasn't.
It's same with Streetman, Streetman couldn't either.
I wasn't supposed to be at the home.
No, why, I don't know, I had no idea.
I shouldn't know.
And people were like, did you
Shouldn't
train them
have.
good? Yes, I did. I don't know, and it wasn't just us.
We're not supposed to.
There were other counties, because I'm on this thing called listserv, where
Yeah.
several EAs and county clerks get on there and talk
Oh, I
about the
did too,
election.
so there you go.
Right.
I didn't think that was what I missed it with everybody.
And there were several
Yeah, I went to
EAs
three.
in there said
Oh,
that
my
their
goodness.
judges had just almost froze up on that day and didn't know what they were doing.
We got that one done.
And I probably had 6 of the precincts doing
This
that.
is,
Early voting.
Just kind of lost out what they were doing.
This is
I mean,
absentee.
just like provisional, she said,
so,
we had so many provisionals.
that would be the 5
Some of
and
them
2 together, I
weren't
guess.
even in our county. They know better.
2 rejected, so that's
We had
your
10 out of Barton.
And that third next
3
one.
of them were out of
Yep.
Barrow County. They supposed to send them to Barrow, but they didn't even call us or ask us or anything. You know, so I don't know what was wrong with all the judges this go around.
2 rejected, 5 counted,
So-
so that's that.
And this one here, and this here, the night of the election, I had to go and zero out my big DS200, and this vote they had put on the provisional machine, so it went in with my 2450 vote on early voting, and then these other 3 went with early voting, like they were supposed to, but either way, they're all counted, all 5 are counted, it's just in 2 different places. So that was the problem there. Our early voting ballot didn't do right either. So I don't know what happened with all of our judges. They kind of, everybody just got nervous, I guess.
Maybe so.
I had one that was new, Brandon over in Tig, and I had to drive over there just to call
Was
him,
it?
Jeff Clark. He was so nervous, I thought he was gonna have another heart attack. And
Yeah, I was in there early.
Keith Hershey and I both had to go there separately, just to say,
Yeah.
it's gonna be okay.
Sherry helped him a lot, so.
Yeah, both of us, I mean, we just, Sherry Levels was excellent helping him out,
Oh,
and
she's a good person.
she is, and then we had to get an emergency, person over at Butler, because Jeff Wright, the judge over there, his father on Monday night was put on hospice,
Oh, goodness.
and I didn't want to have to be the cause of anything there, so I went over to Butler Monday night and trained 2 people
16.
from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock that night on how to do everything.
Where's Miss Opal when you need her?
She was there, and then she left. So, yeah, it was one of the more difficult elections, I would say, as far as
And now we're.
getting things going. But we did it. We
That's
did
pretty
it. I was
good.
very impressed with the way
And
Sherry and I did
1936
it.
said up to 55.
Mhm.
And 36 rejects.
Yes, and that's what I was telling Clyde. We had a lot of our judges accepted provisionals out the crazy like one of the provisionals came from early voting in Fairfield. He was not even anywhere close to us, but he wanted to come in and vote, and they let him vote provisionally, and
Shouldn't
shouldn't have. Wortham did 10 provisionals. 3 of them were out of Navarro County. They didn't call us, they didn't say anything to us. They know, how to do that, but that we had so many provisionals that did not count because of that, right there.
Well, I think people get confused because they have Freestone County taxes, school taxes, and so
Yeah,
it's confusing.
and that's why we had so many of the, rejected and stuff on the provisionals, is that right there.
Well, people get confused on 13th precinct, voting precinct.
They do.
And the commissioners.
And then we're, commissioners are divided into 4 precincts.
Yeah, and it's
And
very,
they get, yeah,
we get them calling us all the time about, okay, which precinct do we vote in, where do you live at? We tell them, no, our commissioner is so-and-so. Yes, that does, here, but this is where you go vote at.
Accounted for.
And we've had that
well,
happen.
people get confused now.
Yeah, all the
But
time.
I guess it's,
7.
I used to, until I started working here. And then, then I finally figured it out, okay. So,
One of the girls in my office was on reunion down near the fairgrounds.
I've been following
Went out
all
there
this
to
up and
vote.
down, that
They
sticks
told her
out.
it was the wrong voting place for her. And she's like,
Yeah,
you
mine's
know, I voted here
BCD.
before, and they sent her somewhere else.
probably.
Oh, yeah. And then they sent her
Back, as I say, she's probably over here, because most everybody in the center of town, like on Bradley and all that, they're one. Now,
You
where it
live on the
starts,
south side of
where it starts the
Union,
south side, it's, yeah.
Something
on the north side of Union,
This
you're.
is 19.
And see, out there where I live at,
And 36, I mean,
one side
55
of this
side,
road
our
here
biggest
is
number's
one,
55.
two,
So,
and this side over here is one. So it's like, your neighbor could be,
That's what I'm.
Yeah, and that's what I told her as far as
Because
the
everybody's
commissioner's
up to
precinct.
21 on that, so that's
down
numbers.
reunion.
That's,
And
that's
she
wrong.
lives, right across the road from the nursing home.
unaccounted for.
No, it says,
Oh,
well, it
what's
says they had all, it doesn't, it's per the rest of these sheets, everything should have been added back up to that 55, that number ought to be 55.
Yeah, it should be. Well, it should be, I don't know where she got 92 at.
Well, she had 37 and 55 together,
Yeah.
instead of,
Oh, that was Sherry, okay, okay. Oh, yeah, she's going to correct that.
yeah.
That right there is just the unused ballots, accounted, not accounted for, so that's what it is.
So this is.
Oh, no, that's, what is that?
No, it says
A,
accounted.
B plus C plus, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
not, none of the other sheets add there,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, let me correct that for her. I got my pen here, I think.
No pen?
I got one.
No pencil?
I got one of those over
what
there.
precinct you want?
No pair of glasses?
I got that too. Actually, I got two, one up here and one down here.
Okay,
See,
all right.
And
Fairfield,
Fairfield too.
2450,
2453.
and then there's
53.
2 provisionals, county
Yeah.
DD, and 1 during, so
And that would
3.
be
Gave 2.
50 over, 2450 here.
Yeah.
2 stall. Unused would be 940.
Well,
But I guess the 3 and the 2 counts, that would make 3,000.
yeah. But we're back at, okay. See, that's it, she added that said one. That's wrong. That 3,000. It's a good same as 92. She added all of it.
Well, this is total number of ballots accounted for.
Okay.
They had 3,000.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might have been wrong on that then. I just
No, I
was
don't think so.
on the other one. Was I wrong on that or was I?
No,
No,
right.
no.
It's 129. But really on this, here's this the absent, what is this that's the provisionals. Because really, we don't give them any ballots. We just give them what we give them, which is 55.
I'm not.
I'm not getting this one.
Okay, what it is, okay, So we gave them 55 ballots.
55 ballots.
That's how many we
Total
already
number of
had.
ballots accounted for.
Okay.
And why wouldn't that be
Yeah, it
55?
should be 55, whatever this number. So, let's see.
What is B?
B was what's in the poll book, so because we don't count those in the poll book, we just, our EBDE does this.
Okay.
That's why they don't get any like real ballots. Or
Only
any-
provisional ballots. 55, all those were provisional? Okay. And so
36 for
if you
each.
had 55, how did you get 129?
So I have this right here. So 55 plus B.
We don't have a figure up here saying how many
Yeah.
actual ballots
So
they
you
got.
can't really do it, but, because this is supposed to be equal to that there. What's left
So
over,
we had
say 3,000 and 3,000.
55 provisionals, spoil ballots. This is 55 provisionals that actually landed. Okay. But then you had, in addition to that, you had this 36 that were rejected.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's 2 36s, and that's what makes it seem strange. Is that right? Because these provisionals,
Say only 19 were accepted out of this 55.
okay, so number of ballots accounted for, 129.
They shouldn't make that, no. So I just read what that's, hold on.
Ought to be the same as
It
that.
should be the same as the top number here, like if it's up here 1 or 55 should be up here. It should be 55 down here.
Yeah.
So let me check that out with her, because she fills out this, she does my EVAs, and she's not there right now, so that should have been, we'll talk this way.
This is, we back
So
at,
if I put
where we at on now?
6 there, she did 1.
Now, this is by, this is early voting, no, election day, I'm sorry, election day, everyone. All right, so they had 1,000 ballots,
Mhm.
445 that were
Used.
voted ballots
Yeah,
from the ballot
yeah,
scatter
they
results. So
voted.
445 voted, provisionals 2, so that's 447. And then the number of unused,
No, isn't that 2 taken out of it? Well, I don't know. No.
Yeah, it says rejected spoiled too, so it goes
yeah,
to
so that'd be
443.
443, that's right.
Right.
Be 10, that'd be 11. Nope. That'd be 1100.
That should be 5.
Yeah.
We all right on that.
443, and they got 1,000 ballots. So that should be.
Okay, I see what she did here. And it's not 36 and 37. 1 plus 36 is 37.
That's right.
So 55 plus 37 was the 92.
So it was
she-
right?
Yeah, 92. And so that was right.
Okay, I was going up.
Yeah, I did 55, 1, 36, 37, and that's where I got the 129.
Okay.
But no, it was 92 that she got in, and 55 of them were actual, I guess, actual provisional ballots that she gave to the board. And then the others, we only accepted the 19 because some of them, like I said, were Navarro. Some of them weren't filled out right. There was several that had like 1956 to 1958 birthdays.
But the total's 55.
19.
No, I mean, but the total votes was
Yes,
55.
the total that she gave to the 3 judges was 55.
So I would make the number.
We gave them 55 ballots, but since we don't have any actual ballots here, what she did is she added this and that number there to get the 92, which is,
I thought those came out of it.
yeah, that,
No, not exact. All right.
she had,
Yeah, the total amount, as I'm looking at them, this many voted,
mm-hmm,
And in addition to these that voted, this many were rejected or spoiled.
Out of that 55.
No, not out of it. Is what she's saying.
That's
Yeah.
what it says here.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But they had that 55, that's where you get to
We
55.
got 55, and out of that 55,
Now you're saying out of the 55.
out of the 55, we counted 19.
If it's
So
out
it's
of the
19.
55, then it's not 92 right here. If this is out of that, it was only 55.
Yeah, but that, I don't know, that's, she added up this here and that there to get the
It
92.
doesn't matter. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, tell me what it should be. 55 is the total of the voted
Mhm.
provisionals. 55, and the number of spoiled ballots and thrown out ballots,
It's
unused
37,
ballots is 37.
which you take this and add it, and it's 92, which up here, in all actuality, should have been 92, but we didn't give them 92 ballots.
Okay, so we had this many people that
Mhm.
voted,
Mhm.
and those were good ballots, is what you're
They
telling
were
me.
provisional ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all good.
No, 19 of those were good. Only 19 were accepted.
But if you're saying the 55 is the total number of ballots that provisional that came in,
Mm-hmm.
then there can't be 92 that were accounted for.
No, 55 were accounted for.
All right? You got
So that
here,
figure, it should be
the
there,
total number of
but
ballots
according to
accounted
this,
for.
should be 55. But if you add B, C, D, and E together, it's not.
See,
See, just like on the other
well,
one.
this shouldn't have had that. Well, let's look at the one we didn't have done before.
It just didn't match the others, we
That's
just got
right,
through it.
that's right.
And I don't know whether.
See, I have 3,000 cards I gave them.
Yeah,
I looked on the poll, or the judges looked on the poll book, and 2453 were accounted for.
Yeah.
I had 1 early, 2 E-days, and 2 canceled. So then I took, and unused ballots was 554, which was that and there. Then I took this, and I subtracted from that, and I got that, 3,000. Added up 3,000, then that, and then 2456 is 2453, 54, 55, 56.
yeah.
And in all actuality, it was 2450 because these two here were on E-Day and 2451 was on EV. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It was confusing because our judges, like I said, did not, the EVDB board did not do these correctly, but that's why I had Daniel
I
come
get
down.
that, because you had this number up here, but we
Yes,
don't have a number
But we
up
don't
there.
have a number there.
Well, what you're saying, on this one, is that, I guess that's what we want. What's that number at the top? Number of ballots.
Yeah, they redid one, that's right why that one is there. Because one of them, the DS200 could not read. So what they do is they duplicate it because they either drew out of the circle or didn't do it right on the regular ballot. So they have to redo it exactly like the customer.
Well, then something is written wrong on here, because this is saying that the total number of ballots that you had were 55.
Mm-hmm,
So that doesn't need to add into that then.
yeah, and so you had 55 minus 19, which were accepted, and 36 were rejected. So,
But if you're trying to add these, according to what that says, that doesn't, it shouldn't give you 92, it should give you 55.
Mhm.
The number of ballots accounted for, you couldn't have accounted for 55, you couldn't have accounted for 92 if you only got 55
Let
ballots.
me look at it. See what. Okay. Here, initial
Blank ballots,
blank ballots.
blank. Provisional's 21,
Yeah,
that's 26.
yeah. 1 rejected, 5 spoiled.
So I'm wondering if we should put up here at the top on that there, 55.
This is all a little strange,
You know,
the way.
because they received,
No, number of blank
I
ballots
know.
received, blank.
but on this case, they're not gonna receive any blanks. Except they pulled one out to correct that one. And I think that's where she was trying to figure it up.
I think the issue is number of voted provisional ballots. You add that, and then number of spoiled. Question is, I would normally read this to say the number of voted provisional ballots. Even if it was a rejected or a spoiled, I would think it would be counted here.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's the way I
55.
read it.
Yes, but then the number that are spoiled and thrown out, if you put it here, it's not gonna total right. So maybe they don't count this number as being
Yeah.
voted.
Yeah, I don't know, because,
Maybe it's the good ones that should be here, maybe this should be 19.
Maybe so.
for the math to add
Because
up,
that
it
has to
should.
be 55 down here, if it's
Yeah.
the total
Yeah.
number you have. So,
19
Because it says,
plus
the number of voted provisional
Yes,
ballots
that's what it
sealed,
should be.
sealed and affidavit.
It's
Yeah.
like it would be 56 with that number right there. So this number should be 19 and not 55. Because if you take the 1
mhm.
plus your 19, if it was there, plus 37.
But even the ones that were spoiled or rejected would have been sent back in an envelope, wouldn't they?
We wrote them and told them.
They would all be in an envelope.
Mhm.
Because if this number should match the total number of names on the list of provisional voters. So even though these were rejected or spoiled, their name is on that list.
Mhm.
Okay, so we would have 55 that were on the list. So maybe these,
This should be.
That number should be the one accounted for,
correct,
should be
55.
the
55.
spoiled plus the ones
Yeah.
that were voted. But maybe the number of voted provisionals,
Number of official ballots sealed in affidavit envelopes. This number should match the total number of names on the list, which is 55.
well,
Well,
maybe
if-
all that should be on
If
the
they're
list.
rejected,
They-
I mean,
Maybe,
if they're rejected, are they on the list?
There's, all of them are still on the list at this point until they're rejected.
But the final vote
Well,
was
once
the
they're
list,
rejected,
the
it
list
should
you,
be-
the list you counted were the ones after. So I read that as that should be
that should be 19,
19.
okay?
That should be
19 plus
19, is that
36
it?
would make your 55.
Yes, yes. Okay. See how trouble I have with reading these things?
Well, now that I understand it, I wouldn't have trouble with it.
There's some of these, when you don't give them ballots, that's what makes it difficult. Yeah, I'm just just gonna erase that, and I'm just gonna put W5 on there and initial it.
So where we at?
All right, I think now we're gonna look at maybe just a few of these by precinct, maybe, and see what, if that total is what we're looking at here.
That's why I don't do the early voting back report. I'd rather do the 13 precincts.
This is,
On the custom table, is that what you're looking at? This by precinct?
Custom table.
Ready?
What this said, custom table. And these are precinct one, let's be sure.
is it the same numbers as we're gonna see on this third sheet?
Isn't that just totals?
Yes.
Probably.
Precinct 1 totals, is that the top number?
Yes,
1411?
that's the total of everything, that's the
In
total.
precinct 1?
Yes,
Okay, now I have this big fat stack that is
that's by
by
precinct.
precinct. So I'm saying precinct one, the total votes cast is 443. So if you
And that
look
was on,
at custom table,
yeah.
the front page,
Yeah,
Fairfield,
that was
443.
election day, 443. Now,
but now you said this was,
this here is the full-fledged total, early voting, election day, and everything. Right here, and you
but
can,
these are by
Yes.
precinct
That's-
election day,
Yeah, we wanna look just at election day.
just election day.
right here, I have to do precinct by precinct with these, just for the records.
No, this is the total,
This is the total that I
but
have.
this is not, this is just
Election day.
election day, so it needs to go with this custom table.
Right, right.
Election day.
And these are all the precinct by precinct totals.
So precinct one, voting precinct 443.
Okay.
Okay,
Precinct two,
269,
269. Precinct three,
83,
yep. 4,
4, 145,
okay,
Tig, 414,
yep,
Herb, 191,
yep,
Worth, 305,
yep,
Southern Oaks, 236,
yes,
Tig, CFC, 97,
yep,
Freestone CFC, 110,
yes,
Butler, 179,
yes,
Duke, 269,
yes,
Streetman City Hall, 125,
yes,
Provisional, 19,
yes.
F&T, 219,
Are you just reading it off that sheet?
There's the
Well,
You not looking through there? I thought you were looking through
I
there.
was looking at this, no.
Yeah.
All right, let me start over, I'm so sorry. I thought, all right,
Here we go.
here we go.
443.
443.
Keep going, you have to go to the next page now, because there's gonna be the same page again like this, and then precinct two's gonna be right behind it.
Yeah. Okay, that was already,
It'll be easier to undo like this. You can see right here,
perfect.
and that's gonna be precinct two, and their page is gonna be right behind it.
Precinct two, 269.
269. Donnie,
83,
83. Yes, ma'am. Scott again.
145,
Yes, ma'am. Tig, First Baptist Church.
414,
Yes, ma'am.
191
Yes, ma'am.
is precinct six,
Herb, Worth.
305,
Southern Oaks.
it's precinct eight, St. Elmo, 236,
Yes, ma'am.
precinct nine,
97.
97. Precinct 10, 110,
Butler.
179.
Yes, ma'am.
And you, number 13,
269.
269. Reitman,
125.
that's it.
Provisional 19.
We've already done that sheet, so yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
That was the one we got.
Yeah. F&T, where is it?
It's up there.
Sure.
Absentee was 219.
And then Fairfield, what about Fairfield?
Early voting. Early vote Fairfield, 2450.
Early voting. That's all that-
It should be in that different stack right here with the 3,000, that's it.
This is early voting.
Oops, you know.
That's right. $24.50.
And then behind that is the TIG City Hall early voting.
Yeah.
Which in TIG, we did have several ballots, but they were able to feed those through the DS-200. Because during the early voting hours of TIG, we lost power for like 5 hours. We don't know what happened, but they called me and said half of TIG was out. So I had called you and Will and Lloyd and everybody, but I couldn't get a generator right then, so I went down and rented one from Red Hat Rentals, got gas, took it over to TIG. We hooked up the election equipment, and we voted for about 3 hours on that. But in the meantime, they had to, because of the poll book printer that prints out at the top of our thermals that we give out to our voters, it is not battery backup. So it will not print, so we have to use the regular ballots. So they had to look up the person, find them in the poll book, give them a regular ballot. They went out in the hallway, voted, and then our DS-200 will take regular ballots. So we did that for about 3 hours.
That's when they closed the school over too, didn't they?
Yes, they closed the school. Everything over half of TIG was out. We never figured out why.
We just have a spot up here.
Yeah.
So, we had some neat and unusual events happen during the whole last month, this month, because, you know, I've never experienced the outage of the electricity, or we learned a lot this go around. And we also learned that we're gonna have a lot more help with the polling places come the 24 election. I think we're gonna need a little bit more assistance as far as alternates and clerks and stuff go, because I don't know if we're even gonna have enough people to help out. So.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the canvas?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Who gets
Motion
this?
carried.
Go next.
Thank you.
Any comments from Commissioners Court members?
Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Sorry, I had to call it all up here.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye? Motion carried.